Hello folks, hope you're doing well. Quick video. Well, from the thing that happened last night after the meeting, the discussion with the pastor and him bringing up about Mrs. B and that stupidity that's just continuing, I think it is appropriate, very appropriate, to say now that if you're a church, if your church is happy with the idea of banning someone from the church to protect some poor little weak pathetic petal who took offence and really can't deal with having that person around in church because they took offence. They decided to take offence. They didn't have to, but they decided to take offence. Their choice. They weren't forced to take offence, they decided to do so. Okay, but you're going to ban the person who they took offence from that action or their words. You're going to ban that person rather than that weak, pathetic person who is likely to get offended by other people that you're going to have to ban from that church in the future because of that poor little petal that got offended. Yeah. I'm sorry, if a little snowflake in church gets offended, chooses to take offence by what someone has said or done, and even years later can't stand for that person to be in the same church as them, that they have to then go and complain to the pastor, then that's a massive failing of the church. So again, this whole point about the pastor thinking I'm out of order for talking to people about Manuel failing as a minister. The evidence is clearly there. Manuel was in that church for 18 months, or around about 18 months, after the incident where Mrs. B took offence, right? Again, he was there during that and after that. He had over a year to help people like her know how to deal with offence. That is something that is really topical today, yes? This safe space, universities that we have, and the fact that people are protesting against speakers at the universities are brought in, shouting down anyone who says anything that may say anything that could be taken as offence to. It's a very topical thing. And yet in church, in church they don't want to deal with any of that at all. No. In church, they want to turn their backs on it, hide from it. Because it's difficult, isn't it? As I said before, the whole idea in church of saying to somebody you're wrong, a member of their church, that especially a popular member, they don't want to do that. That's why I've said all the way along, if I went into a church, one of the most important things that I would do straight away is understand how they got to the position they're in. Going from the last video, that's always been a case of me, wanting to learn to understand how they got where they got to so we can avoid them getting back there again. Very important. And teach them how to deal with everyday stuff. And getting offended is an everyday thing. Look at in the scriptures, how many people of those top Jewish people were offended by Yeshua and what he did. And look at how that worked out. Yeah? Offence or taking offence has always been there. It's always been something that people can choose to do. Always. If you do not teach people how to deal with it, you're going to have churches that are continually banning people from church. If you do it for one person, you've got to do it for another. You should never get in the practice of doing that. But the ones that do that, and the people that encourage people to be banned, they should be banned from ever receiving what God is doing now. Because if they want to act like the world, they should be left to it just like the world. If they want to do things according to the devil, then fine. They should be judged according to that. And they do want to do things according to the devil. So, fine. They can be judged according to that, can't they? Yeah. Indeed, it is what it is, but it's up to them. But no, I think it's about time that people stood up to it and said, no, this is not good enough. You want to do that, there will be consequences to that. And put it this way, yeah. Mrs. B is apparently such a snowflake. And so, yeah, in the future, she needs to understand that, yeah, I'm not going to speak to her. I'm not going to speak to her because anything I say or do, she could take offence to and it could kill her. So I'm not going to speak to her because she's such an incredibly, pathetically incapable, weak snowflake that, it hurts her so much for me to be in the same vicinity as her. But therefore, please, Mrs. B, don't ever, ever, ever come and speak to me in the future. You've had your chance, and 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 you have now completely burnt to pieces that bridge that was there. So, yeah, I ain't going to build that again. Because I'm moving the boundaries. So you won't be able to rebuild that bridge now. Okay? If you want to ban people from churches, basically you're saying that they should be in no position at all to receive anything good from our church. If that's the case, why should you receive anything good? As I said before, if you want mercy and grace, you're going to give mercy and grace. If you want forgiveness, you give forgiveness. Now, really, Mrs. B, does she want forgiveness? Will she want forgiveness from God? Yeah, but she won't give it. So is she going to get it? No. No, why should she get it? Why should she get what she's not prepared to give? Well, she's not going to repent of it, is she? Because to repent of it means that she has to admit she's wrong to repent. She won't do that. Otherwise she'll forgive, but she won't forgive. So there you go. Good luck to them. That's the point. But they won't receive. There you go. Take care. Bye-bye.